I'm gonna,
On your
Keisha, need you to hit that over there. Yep. All right. Everybody's trying to get plugged in here. We're trying to get everything on live. And so we have Judge Maribel here today. We have Arthur Woodson. We have Claudia Perkins here today. We have Tim Johnson. And we have Tabitha Marsh. And like I say, we're just so excited for them to be here today. So who wants to start off telling us about the enthusiasm that you have for today? I know y'all are biting your fingernails.
I want to start because I want to make sure we all understand what tomorrow is all about and what to expect after tomorrow. For example, in my race, I'm attorney Tabitha Marsh, and in my race, there are 4 candidates vying for 1 seat. And tomorrow is the primary election, which means that the top 2 vote getters get to move on to the November election. So for me, things are not over after tomorrow, August 4th, the primary election. Tomorrow is just one of 2 elections that, if I make it through tomorrow, we will have in order to get the seat that is going to be vacated by Judge Perry at the end of this year. So I just want to make sure we're clear. So after tomorrow, I'm still going to need a lot of support. I'm still going to need a lot of help. I'm still going to need a lot of people in your vote. You're still going to continue to see me, hear me campaigning because tomorrow is one of 2 elections for 2020 for the seat that I am running for. And I suppose that it would be helpful if each of the candidates could inform the listening audience about that and what to expect after tomorrow, because each race is different. My race is a nonpartisan race, which means it's at the end of the ballot and it's not party affiliated, meaning Republican or Democrat or independent. My race is a nonpartisan race. So that's the way that my race is set up. After tomorrow, we'll see who the top 2 vote getters are, and then those 2 will go toward the November election, and then the top vote getter in November will take the seat in January.
That's good, Tabitha. That is very important to know. You need to know how these things are working, because what'll happen is you'll think that this is it, and it's not it. It's the top 2. Okay? Anybody else want to elaborate on that?
Oh, I'll go.
Go ahead.
My name is Tim Johnson. I'm running for Genesee County Sheriff, and tomorrow will be the day because everybody's running actually and is a Democrat. We have 1 Republican, but whoever makes it through tomorrow on the Democratic ticket will move forward to November. So pretty much tomorrow is the day for myself, and it's time to move Genesee County forward with real leadership.
That's right. So as they were saying, we're not done. We still got to push because we got to hit that election in November. Isn't that right?
That's
So we're going to have to get right back out. So some of you thinking that this is it. This is not it. This is just the beginning. Okay? So everybody needs to understand that. Go ahead.
We're in a, hi, Claudia Perkins Milton. We're in a partisan race. It's Democrats and Republicans. So I'm asking for support on tomorrow. You still have time to come to the polls. Burston today, you can vote there. You can vote at City Hall. We are all anxious. We are all out here trying to do a good job to represent, to let you know who we are and what we're about. We have worked very hard up to this point. You need to vet our respective qualifications and you know, just pick the best person for the job. Hopefully it's me in my race. I'm in the 34th district running for state representative.
Thank you.
Hi, name is Arthur Woodson. I'm running for 34th district state representative. I know you all are tired of seeing yard signs, posts on social media. I'm tired of waking up at 6 in the morning and going to sleep at 4 in the morning posting it, you know, but at the same time, you know, it's an important race because these are your local races. We always want to vote for or vote in the presidential election, but the most important election is your local races because that's where all the decision making is. You know, you have your judges, you have your prosecuting attorney, sheriff, mayor, state reps, all those people are running, and those are the most important That's the most important election. So, you know, you need to, if you haven't gotten out to vote, you need to get out and vote. You need to call everybody and tell them to vote, because Flint has, you know, a low turnout, and the primary is the most important race, because, like everyone said, it's Democratic. It's a Democratic city, and whoever wins majority of the time in the primary goes on to win the general election. So it's important that you vet your candidate thoroughly during the primary and go out and vote. Vote for Arthur Woodson.
Go ahead, Mark.
Well, I was going to steal Art's mic. I'm going to steal your mic.
Oh, you don't have one of those things?
I don't have one, so I'm stealing yours
There you go.
because you could all pass them all over there.
We don't even have to look it up.
That's true. Okay. So, anyway, I'm Judge Herman Maribel from Flint 67-5 District Court. And this is a primary election in my race. I'm running for Circuit Court, Genesee County 7th Circuit Court. It's a primary. There are 3 of us in this race tomorrow. 1 of us will be eliminated. 2 of us will go on to November 3rd. And I guess I want to just make a piggyback on something that Attorney Marsh indicated. You know, this is the beginning, really, for me. Assuming I clear the primary tomorrow, things get tougher from this point forward. And I want to also make one other thing clear, because I guess there's been some confusion. There are 2 judicial races that are on the ballot tomorrow. You have the 7th Circuit Court, the Circuit Court, you know, the race for Circuit Court, the courthouse with the cannons on the front lawn. That's what I'm running for. I currently sit on Flint District Court, which is the court that Tabitha Marsh, Torcio Feaster, Glenn Cotton, and Heather Bernash are running for. And they're running for Judge Perry's seat. He has to retire at the end of the year. So just to make it very clear that people in the city of Flint, at least, will be able to vote in 2 different judicial races. People in the rest of Genesee County will have a primary for Circuit Court. With that, I'll just give Mr. Woodson back the mic. I'm sharing with you.
That's good. Again, as I was saying, the excitement is in the room. We can feel it. Anticipation, amen, is in the room. What are some of your plans? What are some of your plans for today? What are some of the things you guys are planning on getting out doing in the community?
Well, today is my birthday.
Oh, that's
Happy
right. Happy birthday.
A lot of birthdays.
That's wonderful.
So I really don't know what I'm gonna do today. We know we're gonna be in the campaign mode. That's for one thing. Making sure that people get out to the polls today and tomorrow, and just asking them, like, I think one of the I think it was Arthur Woodson that said, just make sure you tell your family and friends to get out and vote. You know, and push your people to come on out and vote. People died for the right to vote. Our people died for the right to vote, and we need to take advantage of this. This is an important election because it does represent, you know, the city and the county, where the presidential election is one thing, but these are local officials who's going to be actually supposed to be have your best interests at heart. So please talk to your family members and friends and ask them to go out and vote. It is a very, very important election.
I have something to say.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, you know, like I said, I'm on social media all the time, and the media, the media, they manipulate and do things to sway and be biased to sway votes. And you can't really watch them, because
That's
I'm gonna give you an example, right? Now we out here marching, we're protesting. We did Black Lives Matter, and we did GISD. They panned the whole crowd and stopped at me. And then when they put the person that was standing in front of me, they made sure that they went down and cut my head off of it. on the Black Lives Matter march, it was a candidate running for sheriff. They not one time showed that candidate that was out there running for sheriff, but they interjected a sheriff that's already up in there running and put him on there in his speech. If you go look at Channel 12 News, you'll see it. This is upsetting to me. Then they, Channel 25 put out that phony election that Cynthia Neely, State Rep Neely, I'm gonna respect the office. State Rep Neely won by 2,000 votes. And that was, they said it was a test run. But I'm asking how, if it was a test run by AP, how did they know that a lot of people favor this person or that person or don't favor this person? How did they know to put that in order like that? Because they're not here. It's something going on way more sinister than what we think. And if we don't stand up as a unity, as a unit, they're gonna keep on manipulating the people and being biased to where they pick and choose who they want, not who the people want. Because we don't have a lot of money like they have the money. We don't have money to put up commercials. We don't have money to, our husband or wife isn't the mayor of the city of Flint where they go pick up our signs but leave her signs. You see, so it's a lot of manipulation going on, and if we don't fight together against, stuff like that, we're going to continuously be in a situation we're in where we keep on asking, would you please help us to overcome when we should have overcame already. Thank you.
Well,
That's right. That's good.
I'd like to piggyback on what Art just said. We did a press conference this week, and the press conference was against organized labor and the UAW because they, for the most part, they manipulated this race as far as I'm concerned. I'm a seasoned top negotiator in the UAW. I fought in organized labor my whole career. So we did a press conference because we couldn't understand how they could endorse someone who has never done anything in the political arena and not even interview the rest of the candidates. And before the ink was dry on the list of who was running, they had already endorsed Cynthia Neely. I'm just gonna come out and say it. And she didn't have any qualifications except her highest qualification is that she's married to the mayor. And I'm really sick and tired of a lot of crap. I really am. And it's time for people to speak up and say what it is.
That's right.
They've taken down our signs. Signs are laid down. Ms. Marsh told me today she helped pick all mine and Arthur Woodson signs up off the ground and re-stood them up. I'm just saying, come on. You people in the world out here have to start listening and start looking at qualifications. And if you want a different outcome, you have to do something different. You can't just go with the status quo because that's the mayor or whatever. You have to look at the people's qualifications and experience. We are in a fight for our lives. We have crucial issues on the floor right now. Everything from redlining to the emergency manager to the pandemic to the water crisis. Come on. Now it's time for you all to be smarter and stop voting for who's the popular person and start looking at qualifications. That's where I'm at.
Good point. That's a very good point, Claudia. Very good point.
Well, one of the things, Pastor Cynthia, that I like to highlight is how difficult it is to run for public office. A lot of
Go
people
ahead.
complain about what's going on, what you see in the judicial system, what you see at City Hall, what you see at the state level, but few people actually get up and do something about it and try to make a change. And a lot of that is because of finances and resources. It is extremely expensive to run for public office. Some of the things that you have to consider is mailing. Mailing is thousands and thousands of dollars. And a lot of the people here, if I'm correct, we're not independently wealthy.
That's right.
I know I'm not independently wealthy. I'm an entrepreneur here in the city of Flint, And I consider my prices to be quite reasonable. So I'm not considered to be a wealthy person. And I don't think anyone else here is independently wealthy either. I could be wrong. But you have mailings. You have radio or TV commercials. You have yard signs. You have T-shirts. You have buttons. You have stickers, bumper stickers. You have, and all of these things cost money. And not only that, but for a lot of us who are running for office, we still have to work. So we still go to work and try to find the time to campaign
Still
and
have to
keep
work.
a roof over our heads.
That's right.
In addition to that, it's just the energy. It takes so much because you're constantly being scrutinized by other people. Your life is completely on display. You got to find time to manage all of this. So it's not an easy thing to run for political office. So when you see people complain about their yard signs coming up missing, or when you see people complain about, different things, it's because we put our sweat, blood, and tears into this. It's not easy. Unless you're someone with a certain popular name in the area, it's not a shoe-in. So you're fighting every day.
That's right.
Because you believe that this is the right thing for the community, because you honestly believe that you're the right person for the job. And so I want to commend everybody that have stepped up to the plate and run for office, because this is my second go at it, and I know it has taken everything that me and my family could provide just to get us to this point.
Well said. Well said.
Welcome to my world.
Okay,
That's what I can
Maribel.
say, because this is actually my 6th election. And, I've noticed more vandalism with signs and things in this race than I've ever seen. It's really been a bad situation. But, and I too commend people who want to go into public service, because this is important. It is an honorable thing to do, and I salute everybody who is running for office. It's not easy, and it's not easy when you get there. I mean, we could talk offline about that. Getting there isn't the toughest part. It gets worse in terms of the toll it probably takes. But on the other hand, I have been a Flint District Judge now for 20 years, and it's the best job I've ever had. And it has been an immense pleasure and joy to be accepted by the people of my hometown. And for those of you, if you are successful in this, you're going to experience that as well. It's very rewarding. I guess for me, it isn't so much, you can't always worry about the endorsements or who endorses you or who doesn't. Because the fact of the matter is, I don't go out and seek the endorsement of politicians or other judges. I don't do it. And the reason why I don't do it is really threefold. And I've been in politics now long enough to know that when somebody endorses you, they expect that they're going to get a favor from you. They expect that they can pick up the phone and call you and say, I'd like you to do this, or I'd like you to do that. And, you're allowed to lobby your city councilman. You're allowed to lobby the governor, or the state legislature, or your congressman. But you're not supposed to be lobbying a judge. There are ethical considerations here. And that's one reason why I don't go out and get these politics. The second thing is, I don't necessarily need to have their enemies go against me. But the third thing is, I have a 20-year record that I'm running on. And I think that I have been a good judge in this community. I have initiated programs to benefit the youth. There's a Judge Maribel Student of the Month, Student of the Year program. There is the Maribel Senior Citizen program. I don't, and it's something else about the support, where you get your support from. I signed a pledge, and I talked about this a few weeks ago,
Go
that I
ahead.
wasn't going to take special interest campaign donations. And I challenged my opponents to sign the same pledge. I sent the email out to them 2 weeks ago. Haven't heard anything from them. So it'll be interesting, when the campaign finance reports come out to see, where their money is coming from and who's giving them their big money. One other thing, and I guess I would say this, especially when we're talking about the justice system. I think what we have seen in the past year, not just this year, with George Floyd and all of that, because a spotlight has been shown on the inequities and the problems and issues that we have going on in the justice system. It's not just somewhere else. It's in Genesee County as well. And people don't want me to say this. My colleagues wouldn't want me to say this.
Yeah, you got to.
But, there really is kind of an old boy network.
There is.
And I use that term among a young person. They didn't know that term. So when I said the clique, they knew what I meant. So the old boy network, the clique. There is kind of that going on in this county, in the legal system. And, I've never been a part of that. And you can see who the legal establishment wants to be in this position and who the people want to be in this position. And quite frankly, I see the bosses of me are the voters, the people. And that's what it's all about to me.
That's good. It is very, 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 people understand. You're sitting there and somebody's telling you that your vote doesn't count. You could be that one vote that makes that very difference. We have seen where people will say they were 200 votes short. That's you 200 people sitting there saying, my vote doesn't count. Yes, your vote does count. Yes, it does. Don't let the devil tell you that your vote doesn't count. Yes, it does. And I can't say that enough. We cast that devil out right now in the name of Jesus. Your vote does count.
It's not only count, they make it sound like just because, they say your vote count just to get that elected official in. But the way that I say it count is who you vote for to put in there. Because I'm going to show you the difference. State Rep Millie has never, ever done anything with the water crisis, even when we were being poisoned. And I seen Mayor Millie put up that she, over 10 years, been helping him with the Easter egg hunt. That's her past. I'm just being serious here. Let's talk about past, present, future. The past, she has nothing but Easter egg hunt as far as her record for what she has done in the community. Present, she took the executive orders from Governor Whitmer and turned it into a legislation to sponsor that bill, which she knew wouldn't come out of committee. Then let's talk about the future. She was on video saying, I'm down here working late. Well, what are you working late on? You're working on things. What things? What justice reform are you doing? I'm not even down there, but I can tell you what you was working on. You was working on HB 5910 through 5913, and what I would focus on is the HB 5912, because that's the bill that the Republicans are trying to push through that tells the district that they have to have 75% of the kids in school in October in order for us to receive funding in our school district. If you're going to be a state representative, you have to come back and speak to the people on what it is, not just say I'm working on things. What things are you working on? And that's, as a state rep, I would come back every 2 weeks and ask the people, because like what Judge Maribel said, the people is my boss. I'm working for them. My voice is their voice. So I have to talk to the people and ask the people, hey, listen, this is what we're working on down in Lansing. This is all the legislation. I want to know what it is that you think about this bill so that we can work it out and find out the things that you don't like, that I can go back down to Lansing and speak to them about. And this is why I do not like this bill, because I am working for the people. And this is what the people said. But she cannot even put 3 sentences together without Mayor Neely jumping in and walking to the doors speaking for her. She will not say anything. I want to be able to go down to Lansing to say something.
That's good.
Well, another thing, I don't think I was quite clear. I didn't finish what I was saying earlier. When I talked about organized labor in the UAW, they endorsed Cynthia Neely over everybody else. They didn't, a lot of them didn't interview most of the candidates in organized labor. They called me just to say that they called me to interview. But we had a press conference on last week, and the TV station was instructed not to play the video. And that's pitiful, because they're suppressing the information that you all really need to know.
That's right.
I'm organized labor. I was born and bred organized labor. I have paid dues for over 40 years in labor in the UAW. I'm a top.
Hold that thought, because WFLT is going off. I want you to know, out there listening audience, do not mail in your ballot. Do not mail in your ballot. You have to go out. If you mail it in, it's no good. Mail your ballots. Do not mail your ballots in. Take them in and turn them in, or go and vote tomorrow in person. If you mail it in, it is too late. It is too late. You've been listening to The Well. God bless you, and have a blessed day. Go ahead and finish what you were saying.
Okay. I'm just going to say that the news media, they are pulled by certain strings, the clique, as Judge Maribel was talking about, or the good old boys. They're control. A lot of this news media is controlled, so they wouldn't let us tell you the truth about organized labor, about the UAW. And I love the union, I do, but I want you to know that no organization, any organization, is only as good as the people you put in it to run it. That's what I have to say.
That's good.
And so they try to suppress the fact, because I had presidents from other UAW locals speak up for me in that press conference and say they were appalled at the fact that organized labor and the union would not endorse their own, and they endorsed somebody because they were married to the mayor.
That's good.
That's what I want to say. God
Thank
bless
you. Amen. Amen. She said, God bless you. Amen. And we do need to, as we're saying, the truth is coming out. The truth is continuously coming out, how our candidates are being done. And let me tell you something, we the people, if we don't start standing up and coming together and showing up, if we don't show up and start being a force behind these candidates, they're going to continue to do this. And just like we've had the things that went on all the time, how they have the elections and they're taken from us, and we're saying, how did that happen? It's by 200 votes, by 100 votes, and they play these little games, and we just sit there and we say, oh, no more. Oh, it's time for us to get up and to get with our candidates and stand with them. Let me tell you something. If people see us, working together and seeing that we are forced to be reckoned with, they'll stop playing us close. And that's the problem now. If we don't get something, they say, oh, they'll die out. Oh, they'll just go somewhere and sit down. But let me tell you something. We got to be real this time. And for those of you young people that are listening, you got to have old with you. And the old people are willing to work with you. We've got to work together. Because even though you're out there, you're screaming and hollering, that's good. But where does all the legislation takes place? It takes place in their offices. So like I say, you got to belong. You got to get with people. And you got to learn how to talk. You got to learn how to write things down. You got to learn how to get along. We can't, if we're fighting amongst each other, we're not going to get anything done. So we've got to learn too that if we want something done, I love watching the marches, how they walked there arm in arm, and how they stood together. They went to jail together because they were standing for a common purpose, and they got things done. And just like Rosa Parks said, today I'm not getting up. I'm tired. And so we have to take on those same attitudes. Let it be more Rosa Parks and say, today is the day that I'm tired and I'm going to start doing something. Stop letting people hold you back. You don't need somebody to push you to come make a difference. All of these candidates that are here today would love to have you to come and to support them. And we're going to give all their information and things at the end because we need each other. The more the better. We want you to come out and we want you to support them. And yes, the media and people are trying to do negative things and say negative things against each other. But listen, we're not going to even worry about that. We want you to come out and to support. Because like we said, in November, we got a whole nother election. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
A whole nother election that's coming. And my candidates, they all sitting here, they like, yes.
Well, you know, if I can say this.
Go ahead, Tim.
From my standpoint and where I sit, you have two other law enforcement officials, top law enforcement officials, is running for the same office as I am. And when you talk about signs being stolen and removed and things of that sort, now these are supposed to be law enforcement, law-abiding citizens in our community, actually the top law enforcement officials in our community, and people going out, removing signs and stealing signs, pushing signs down to the ground, putting their signs in front of them, sandwiching in signs all around the county, and people was calling me saying, man, your signs, you don't have no signs over here, you don't have no signs. And I had them there. I surely had them there, you know, but I tell you, I really find that if that kind of individual is running for office, what kind of work is they going to do when they get in office?
That's
yes.
right.
What kind of work
That's
is they
good.
going to do when they get in office? And I tell you, it's so sad that it would come down to that over a sign. And usually when I got the call, I said, well, you know what? Let it go, or I'll replace it if I had the sign to replace it. And if I didn't, I just let it go. Did it upset me? You bet it did. And not so much as the sign, but as the individual that actually running for the same office I am would have somebody out there, if they didn't do it themselves, would have somebody out there removing signs
right.
of another candidate that's running for the same office. What sense do that make? The last time I checked, signs don't vote. People vote.
Right.
I mean, come on, let's make it make sense. And I tell you, that is really what disturbs me. And that's the kind of officials that you got out there running for office.
That's right.
Hey, Ms. Watkins,
Go ahead.
Pastor Watkins. You know, speaking, piggybacking off of what Ms. Perkins said, I'm glad UAW didn't call me or ask me did I want the endorsement. It's not that I don't like the UAW or the union. I don't like the heads of the union.
Go ahead.
Because they are political, and a lot of them just got out of court. And I don't need to say any names. All right? I don't want anybody to take my voice away. So if I get their endorsement, I have to endorse everybody on their slate. And I'll be doggone if I endorse Jeff Wright. If you don't vote for anybody on the ballot, you make sure you vote against Jeff Wright. Jeff Wright is he's the architect of the water crisis. I will say that until I go to my grave. Cynthia Neely, State Rep Millie, does not know where to even go to even get started. She'd have been there for 5 months now. Why haven't we heard her say anything about the water crisis? You don't have to pass legislation to get started on the water crisis because legislation was passed in 2016. All you have to do is go to the departments, which we have a Democratic governor, which she has people in place, which we can do inquiries and oversight of these departments, which is EGLE and MDHHS, but she will not do it because her husband is the mayor of Flint, which she will not investigate. And if I have a problem, which we had a problem before where the state Eagle told her husband to go fix this young lady's service line. He didn't do it. They gave him until Friday afternoon to fix it. She does not have a communication line to her state rep to file a complaint against the mayor because he did not act on safety of her family, because his wife will not initiate investigation on him. And then by law, she's not obligated to even give a statement against her husband. They can't even force her to do that. So that is a huge conflict of interest, having a married couple where she's over him representing the 34th district state representative and he's the mayor. So how are we going to get any justice if she's in charge? So that's why you should not vote for State Rep Cynthia Millie. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a call in. We have a call in. Go ahead, Keisha.
The question is for Mr. Woodson. What's going on with Mayor Neely, his neighbor, the stabbing, and the shooting? I saw the video. Why did you call Jeff Hawkins, and why haven't you turned in that information?
Rich Jones, let me tell you right now, this is what's going on. I received a call Thursday right before Coochie Land, and it was a friend of mine. And she called me and she said that the young lady that lived next door to Mayor Neely got stabbed in the neck, and she ran over to Mayor Neely's house. And Mayor Neely, the police wouldn't come out. So Mayor Neely didn't do anything. So the young lady called me, so I called Jeff Hawkins because he has a straight up relationship with the Phil Hart and Sheriff Swanson. So he took care of it, and he called me back that Friday and told me that they were acting on it and they were doing things. I said, okay, no problem. That Saturday night, the girls that was being harassed by the other girls that lived up the street from Mayor Neely, they the ones that shot somebody at the Coochie Land. But they had called me and said, all right, we need to do something about this before somebody get hurt. So Rich Jones, please stop with the trying to make it seem like I did something wrong when I did something right, because I didn't have to even get in touch with Jeff Hawkins to even try to get him to try to get the police out there. I'm just a citizen. I am not an elected official. These people were living next door to the mayor. And the mayor, which is an elected official, which runs the city, which crime rate is out of the roof, he wouldn't even do anything. So what makes you think that I could do something about it?
Well, see, there we have it again. Another. See, we're trying to talk today about something peaceful, and here it is. The negativity comes in, trying to put one of the candidates on the spot. So now we see that it is real, that these candidates are really going through right now. And just like they said, it's not their responsibility because they're not in office yet. It is those people that are in office that are held responsible for these things. So, would anybody else like to elaborate on anything as we move along?
Well, yes.
Go ahead, Judge.
But I've got to get the mic from Mr. Woodson.
Okay, let's
It's the
move right
second time
along.
this week I've had to try to get the mic from Mr. Woodson.
That's all right.
and
Go
a
right ahead.
campaign. But I enjoy listening to you, Mr. Woodson.
Thank you very much.
I do. Yes. Listen, again, this is, the phone call or whatever, we're talking about the response of the justice system. And people have issues.
Yeah.
They clearly do. And that's why it's important for people to get out and vote in these elections. You have to elect people that are going to be responsive, that are going to put people in place. And, a mayor appoints a police chief. A state representative can pass an appropriations bill that maybe, funds the court system. Hello, I'm just telling
That's
you that,
right.
in case you guys get down there.
To the city instead of county.
Well, but I'm making the point
Right.
that it's a collaborative
It's a collaborative.
effort.
That's That's
You know,
right.
we all have different roles that we play. I mean, you know, if somebody got stabbed next door to my house, I'd be calling the police, you know, because I'm a judge. That's not my, you know, role to fix that. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So it's a collaborative effort, and it's also about making sure that the voters and the people in this county elect people that, if they're not responsible, can put the right people in place to address some of these issues.
Exactly.
And, you know, this goes back to one of the reasons why I'm running. I've been a judge for 20 years. I have more experience being a judge than my opponents. I have more experience being a judge than all but 2 of the current circuit court judges. And it's important that you have people with experience and an institutional memory, knowing the history of what's gone on to get to wherever we are at this particular point in time. You gotta have, you know, you can't always address a problem unless you know how things develop.
That's
And,
right.
and we have, you know, sometimes that's a problem, you know, especially if people haven't been on the scene, if they haven't been active in the community. You know, I'm running for this office, and you know, I didn't just wake up one day, you know, fell out of bed and hit my head and said, oh well, I think I want to be circuit judge.
Right.
I didn't do that.
That's good.
I actually went on a listening tour and talked to people in my district to see what they thought about that. And, you know, people in the city of Flint are not represented on the circuit court. There's no judge from the city of Flint on the circuit court, perhaps for the first time in Genesee County history, certainly in living memory. And the people that I talked to in my district said, you know, you should run for that. You know, you should have run for this a long time ago.
That's
Some
right.
of them even said.
That's right.
But, you know, there's a season for everything, and I think
Yeah.
this is that time. So, anyway, I'll pass the mic.
Can I say this?
Jim, you so polite. He said,
No, you know,
you go right ahead.
I was listening to what the caller, the question asked, and I heard Art's response. And actually, I didn't hear, and maybe I missed it, you know, because maybe I missed it, but I didn't hear anything negative. Matter of fact, that should have gave kudos to you, because it's really amazing how the 2 top people who should have been accountable, the sheriff and the chief, they called a third citizen. And somebody who's not an elected official, like you said, who's not in office, but you made the call anyway. You tried to call somebody to get somebody some help, you know. So to you, you know, you know, that was kudos, really. I mean, you put it out there, what you did and how you came forth, because if you hadn't done that, it might not have gotten the kind of results that that it gotten. So I didn't see that as a negative. Actually, I saw it as a positive on you, because I get those same calls at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I have to call somebody because I can't call the chief, you know. So I call other officers that I still notice out there and say, hey, this is what's going on, handle it, you know, and the job gets done, you know. So I looked at that as a positive when I heard that, to be honest with you, for you, you know. So, but really on the flip side of it, it goes to show, I've heard Chief Hart say 1,000,000 times that he's got open door policy and you can call him anytime. Well, why is they calling the third citizen when actually the response should have been immediately from the police side of it? So the sheriff and the chief should have got on ASAP if they were reachable, which you actually just kind of explained that they wasn't. That's why the call came through you, and you had to call somebody who you knew that can reach them, you know, to go all around the circle instead of just going straight to the person who was there in place to take care of the problem. I got a problem with that.
I do too.
You know, and I never had that kind of problem when I was in office, because I got the call straight from the citizen, you know, so who needed my help.
Exactly.
I'd like to say, I had an issue in the last election where we actually videoed someone taking my signs, and they were not on the development, used to be the old Bunch School. They were not on that property. They were adjacent to it. And I put the signs out, and I was going to go around the block and park my car so I could work that neighborhood. Well, my girls that were in the car with me said, that guy's taking your signs. So we jumped in the car, I drove right up on him. We were videoing him. I said, what are you doing with my signs in your hand? He said, I was told to move them. I said, by who? The mayor. We got all this on video. I took it to Chief Hart. Yes, I did. And he promised me over and over and over again he was going to do something. He did absolutely nothing. And I said, I realize the mayor is your boss, but you or the mayor are not above the law. And so I have no confidence in him as a sheriff. He can't even run the city. He just resigned. So I'm not with that. And so you all need to scrutinize what we're saying. We're not just up here playing. We don't have money to just throw away. We are people that care about this city. And we want to see a turnaround. If you always do what you always did, you're going to always get what you always got. You must change something.
That's right.
Change something.
Yes.
Pastor Watkins,
Go ahead.
to get off, not to take off and take it from the subject, but I want to say something outside of just complaining, but mix it with what we will do. So Ms. Perkins and I have been working on this water crisis from day one.
True.
We know the ins and outs of this water crisis. I know that I can go down to Lansing. I know that I went down to Lansing, MDHHS, and talked to Dr. McFadden and Sarah Lyon Callens. They are both epidemiologists. One works for CDC, one works for MDHHS. I know that I asked and requested a cancer cluster study. What we need that for, and it will benefit the people who worked at GM also, because Racer Trust had to do studies on Buick City. They found 300,000 to 600,000 parts per trillion of PFAS. Let me tell you what the limit is. The limit is 17 parts per trillion. Limit is 17 parts per trillion. They found 300,000. Outfall 1, outfall 2 was right in front of the intake of the water treatment plant. You wonder why everyone is dying of cancer around here, but now that we have COVID-19, they can say it was COVID-19 instead of cancer.
Right.
I asked for a cancer cluster study back in November of 2018. They did it. They brought it to us this year, right before COVID-19. I asked them for the full report. They would not give me the full report because they saw an uptick in 505, 504, 503, and then they mixed it with 48352 Flint Township.
Go ahead.
They mixed it together because that was the highest uptick, so that they could inflate the numbers without us really knowing it. So they brought it down and gave it to us in pieces. So I've been asking since last year of November, asking them for this report. They would not give me this report. So as a state rep, I can go down, instead of saying a FOIA, I can say, hey, I need that report. Where is that report that Dr. Eden Wells did on the cancer cluster studies, so that I can bring it back down here to Flint? Hey, I want to see all the money out of that $59 million. How much of that money was generated, inflated, to make it sound like y'all gave Flint some money? How much of that money did y'all pay the state workers? Instead of paying it out of the MDHHS budget, y'all paid them out of the Flint water crisis and paid them to come down here and work for us, where you could have paid somebody else. Then on systematic racism, Cheryl Thompson has been working for MDHHS for 33 years. Why didn't you put her over Flint? Why did you bring somebody outside of Flint that do not know our community? You pick directors and try to say that you have a diversified administration, but you never go inside that system and put the right people in place that know our lives here in Flint. So that's what we need to be talking about when we talk about systematic racism, and we talk about what the state of Michigan has done for us. We should not need a lawyer to go and tell the state to pay for us. If GM poisons us, okay, cool, fine, and dandy. But the state poisoned us. Our state reps, our state senator, our mayor, everybody, our congressman, they supposed to have been our lawyer. We should not have to pay a third of what we're going to get to a lawyer to be made whole.
That's right. Say it.
I'm done.
Not only that,
That's right.
the cover up. Look at all this cover up. Come on. Like he said, we've been in court. Federal court, Supreme Court, we're there. We're boots on the ground. I've been all the way to Washington, D.C. I talked to Dr. Peter Gravett. He's over all the fresh water in the United States of America.
Okay.
I've gone to Washington how many times? I've been on that hill. I've been fighting. When we left the hill, they cut $170 million. They came back to Flint, supposedly, but the YWCA of Lansing got our water money. Capitol Theater was renovated off of our
Yes.
water money.
Yes.
There's so many things that you all just don't know. I've been in so many classes about the PFAS that Arthur spoke on, and the PFOA, and the contaminant is so bad they couldn't even clean the soil up.
That's
It is
right.
ridiculous. People are concerned about their wells. You know, it's so much stuff to this water thing. Nestle, they were supposed to be heroes. No, they're not. They're demons. $200 they pay for a permit to pump 450,000 gallons per minute of water
Yes.
out of our Great Lakes.
That's right.
Aquifers and water tables are going down so much that the farmers are hollering because they don't have enough groundwater to plant their crops. We got issues here. And if you keep putting people
Tell it.
in place that don't know what they're doing,
That's right.
that don't care about the residents of Flint, you're going to get more of the same of what you're getting. Change something.
That's right.
Change something.
That's good. That's good.
Pastor
Go ahead,
Cynthia,
Tim.
I just want to talk about, I know we're
We're
wrapping
good.
up.
Go ahead.
Um,
Take your time.
But I want to employ the listening audience, the viewing audience, to think about who you want to represent you. And all of these different seats that are on the ballot tomorrow and then again in November, who would you like to see representing you and your interests? I think that's what this is about. I often say that representation matters because to me it does. It means something. When someone takes an office, they are representing the bigger array of people. They're not just there for themselves. They shouldn't just be there for
That's right.
themselves.
That's
That's right.
They should be there to represent the whole because everybody can't go to Lansing. Everybody can't go and sit on the district court or the circuit court bench. Everybody can't go and be the sheriff. There's only one person that can do that in a specific race.
That's
And
right.
so that person needs to be representative of the community that they are supposed to be representing. So I implore you, listen to what has been said, do your research, and make a decision and be able to say, yes, I'm comfortable with that person representing my interests. Yes, I'm comfortable with that person representing me on the bench. I've said this time and time again, in the 67th District Court, out of the 10 judges there are no African American females sitting on that bench. This is 2020. What is wrong with our society to where we can have a city that is at least 2/3 African American and the majority of the voters are typically African American women? Why is it that we don't have any women represented on our district court bench?
That's
Any
right.
African American women? To me, that means something because I'm an African American woman and I've spent my life representing the interests of other people in various capacities. So I implore you again, please think about who you want to represent your interests when you go vote tomorrow and then again on November 3rd.
Thank you. I want each candidate to take at least a minute before we close out
Well-
and just talk to the people. Go ahead, Judge Maribel.
Yeah, I guess I want to also say something to people in Flint, since that is my district. I just want to echo once again, if you are sitting on an absentee ballot right now, you cannot put it in the mail. It will not
Yes.
arrive at the clerk's office on time. You have to either take it to the clerk's office, or there are 4 other drop-off locations in the city. You can call the clerk's office. They can tell you Burston. There are a couple of churches. Mintz Manor on the east side is one of them. You can go on my Facebook page. We have the addresses posted, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
Judge Herman Maribel Jr. Facebook. But It's important that you get out and vote. These elections matter. And I'm going to tell you, experience matters. You really, have to understand that experience matters. I mean, I look at Chief Johnson, who's got a 40-year career in law enforcement.
That's right, 40 years.
I've got, between being a prosecutor and a judge, 3 decades of experience.
Okay. Me too.
And if you elect somebody that has the experience, they understand what it means to represent you when they're in the room
Especially
and
when
the
they
wrong
got-
decisions are
Especially
being
when
made.
they got a proven record.
That's
A
right.
proven record. And I want to piggyback off what you said, Judge. I watched this man in the courtroom. He fights for the citizens. He never took the high road as far as looking at the landlords association, whoever they were. He fought for the citizens. That's to be commended. It really is.
Yes.
And the citizens need to know that he can relate. He can relate to the citizens. He's not above them. He don't place himself above them like some people put themselves on a platform. This judge has always been accessible, and he'll go anywhere and he'll talk to anybody.
Yes.
That means it'll mean a lot when you're on that bench and you're looking at somebody who can't relate to you.
That's
You know,
right.
or not trying to relate to you.
That's right.
Or who don't have your best interests at heart.
That's right.
And I wasn't selected, I was elected for almost 30 years in the UAW. I was elected, I had to run for that office, and I represented families in this community like you wouldn't believe. And I've raised up youth from the streets and helped to take them as far as Washington, Las Vegas, places like that, and meet up with great people that have gone on. So I am familiar with being elected and servicing and a large audience. So.
I'm going to say it again. I started out as a veterans advocate. I met with the late John Lewis, and he told me that, whatever you do, art, don't stop, good trouble, the whole 9. And I took that to heart, and I have not looked back since. Like what Ms. Perkins said, but I'm going to say it a different way. Doing the same thing, expecting a different result, is a definition of insanity.
Amen.
We in Flint have to get away from where we have been programmed to vote for people who told us to vote for
And
somebody.
lied to
That's
you.
right.
We have to get away
Manipulated.
from that because they have put people in place that they want in place.
That's right.
It's a hidden hand that's operating the city
That's
That's
right.
right.
through the mayor. Just like State Rep Millie. Give you a prime example real quick, and I'm gonna wrap it up. She, by being endorsed by UAW, had to take her endorsement from Trishelle Young, or UAW was gonna take the endorsement away from her. She would not endorse Trishelle Young. You're not your own person, so you showing the people already you'll sell us out. Thank you.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Well, there you have it. And you heard the truth here today. I tell you, if you still get bamboozled, or you still go with the old boy
Accept the
club,
lies.
you accept the lies of different people telling you what to do, different stories that they want you to believe. If you go that way, it's on you. And if we get the same old, then just know that your vote calls it. Your vote calls it. We need people, like I say, that are willing to stand up and that are ready to change. We thank you today. We want you to take into consideration, because we have vetted these candidates all month long. And after the election is over, we're going to continue to do other things, because we'll be back for the election that'll be taking place in November. So we need you to still get in contact with the candidates in case you want to help be a part to make a change in our Flint community. We just thank you again for listening to Meet the Candidate. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Stay seated.